So they saying that Pac.
He said to me he didn't want to be there no way.
Oh, Pac wasn't feeling too good at Death Row in these last days, y'all.
That wasn't he? Yeah. Go back to his train of thought. So he said to me he didn't want to be there no way. Well, get this. I was told that while he was on gang related, that last week he was upset about going to Las Vegas. Frank, I'm even go better than that. When you went upstairs to change your clothes, and we were downstairs, I said, "What's up?" Because he was moving like a little bitch. Right. I said, "Yo, what's up?" Man, it's all kind of bullshit. And he told me, he goes, "Mike, whatever you do, come back downstairs when you get dressed. I want you to be there." And I got, boy, Porky, if anything, he wants to ditch me. Right. But he already tried. He can. Yeah. He ain't never, ever said to me since I've been working for him, "Come back down, I need you here." He ain't never said that, Frank. Never.
Y'all hear that? Pac felt the energy. He knew these niggas was trying to do something funny. Now Michael Moore is saying, yo, any other time Pac is trying to ditch me, he was like, yo, Michael, after you get dressed, come down, man. I need you. Make sure you're going to be here. And what happened? Reggie made sure he didn't be there. He put him on the cash register. Why? Because Michael Moore didn't want to give up his gun. And Pac is sitting there telling Frank, excuse me, he didn't want to be there. They saying Pac is depressed. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no telling what that conversation was about at Suge House. When you look at Pac photo, that last photo, he don't look happy. So Pac was feeling the vibe that something wasn't right. Because Michael Moore said he always
That's when you was
head down near the casino.
Then when he said, "Dad, I got a little concern," I said, "Yo, Pac, is everything all right?" And he would sit down underneath one of them little slot machines, and he had his head down. So I said, "Yo, nigga, what's up? What's up?" And he said, "Man, all kinds of shit. You know." Then he said, "Hey, you coming back, right?" That's when you was. He goes, "There goes Frank." See, he seen you first. Right. He goes, "There's Frank right there." Because I saw him waving to. That's right. And he said, "You coming back, right?" That's the last thing he said to me. I said, "Yeah, you know I'm coming back." The last thing he said to you. Yeah, sure was. That's right. Sure was. See, now I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking at all the shit prior. Right. Now, I'm going to tell you another person who's.
So that lets y'all know that Pac wasn't happy-go-lucky around everybody in Vegas. He was nervous. He was scared. He telling his security niggas, yo, come back, when he normally would be ditching them. And they talking about his energy. He down, he somber, right? What's wrong, Pac? What's wrong? Oh, man, a lot of other shit. Because, nigga, who you think he was talking to the most when he was in Vegas? And remember, Suge wouldn't even let Frank ride in the car with them.
I did a little research on. You know that attorney? The one that was out there? Yeah. We were told he was an attorney, right? Well, he had a card saying he was an attorney. Well, I have his card. Somebody said he wasn't. Oh. Somebody said, now, Frank, I'm going to be honest, and hear me out. And this is going to make you open your eyes.
Now, right here, what you're hearing is Michael Moore said, remember Reggie told all of them to come have this meeting with this attorney, and the attorney is the one that told them that they can't carry their guns, right? Michael Moore said he researched the guy. He can't find him as an attorney. While they in the meeting with him, he's looking around. All the pictures on the wall ain't the guy that's in the room, right? The name on outside the office ain't his name. So he's saying, yo, I don't think that guy was a lawyer. And who the fuck was he? Right? But all he kept saying is, yo, y'all ain't got no guns, right? 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 This whole shit was a setup. And Reggie ass was in on it, allegedly. I gotta say allegedly. Until it's proven in court. And then I can say, I told y'all so.
All the shit prior. Now, I'm going to tell you another person who I did a little research on. You know that attorney? The one that was out there? Yeah. We were told he was an attorney, right? Well, he had a card saying he was an attorney. Well, I have his card. Somebody said he wasn't. Oh. Somebody said, now, I'm going to be honest, and hear me out. And this is going to make you open your eyes. Frank, was it necessary for all of us to go there and hear that? Or did just Reggie have to go? Well, Reggie should have been the only one that went. Why did we have to go? Well, see what I'm saying? Right. Reggie could have dealt with that and then had a meeting with all of us. Why was it so insistent that we were there? Remember how much he made a big deal? Right. I need all you guys over here. I need all you guys at this guy. Why did they do that? You have to give me an answer on that. Well, see what I'm saying? Yeah. Why? First of all, I'm the owner of the company. We're getting the licenses and working. Isn't that business end of it? Isn't that something that's between the manager of the company and the person getting the license? That's right. You never hold a meeting. Not with all of the employees. Not with all the employees there. Yeah. And then insist that we get there. Remember how he went off? Richie went off when he thought motherfuckers wasn't making it? Right. See how mad he was getting that guy? And then, look at the message. Really? Did he say anything in that whole meeting, or did he just talk about not carrying a weapon? That's how we talked about, basically. What else did he say, Frank? It was hard for me to even remember anything else he said. I don't remember a whole lot he said either. He made it a point to make sure about the weapon. He made it a point. Yeah. He made it a point.
Now, didn't Reggie tell y'all that he didn't tell these dudes not to have their weapon? And Frank supposed to have his weapon, and in the book, he talked about he left his weapon in the car, all that. They had meetings with a fake ass lawyer that they say, and they don't know who the fuck this dude was. That was some business for them to handle. That guy to handle with Reggie. They didn't need security to be there to have this meeting with this guy to tell them not to carry no guns. And why he kept stressing not having no guns, not having no guns, not having no guns. Because they knew the fucking hit on Tupac was already down, right? And Reggie ass knew it too. Allegedly. Now, there's more, but I want to get to something else real quick, right? Let me get to Club 662. Bro, this shit was a setup, and Reggie was involved, allegedly. This is his people. He called a meeting with them.
I'm telling you. Something was definitely wrong. That office wasn't his. And then he said something about it. Remember? He said, sometimes we work in each other's office or something to that. Remember? Why would he say that? questions. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm telling you, Frank, something is not right. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It just didn't add up. It didn't add up. Reggie was so weird. I'm going to tell you another thing. Let's look at Reggie's thing. Why would Reggie, he's never, ever went to that club and started to, why was Reggie and Larry there? Why was Reggie and Al there? Well, he turns it over to Al every time. He turned it over to you. Well, he turned it over to Marcus the time before that. He was never there. And he was never there. Why was he so insistent on being there? And I.
Now y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Certainty, what up? Y'all hear that? Reggie never, ever, ever, ever goes to Club 662. He usually turns it over to Al. He turned it to Frank over to Frank before that, and somebody else before that, and somebody else before that. Reggie's never, ever at Club 662. Never. But the day Tupac and them get into a fight, he's not around. The day they get shot at, he's not around. And he wants to be at the club that he's never, ever, ever, ever at. Here's
There. Why was he so insistent on being there? And I asked him. When I first got to the club, I said, Reggie, why are you here? Aren't you going to shoot? No, I got to take care of some things at the club. And guess what? What did he do different? Nothing. Nothing at all. He did nothing. He just was there.
Y'all hear that? Now I'm going to the club. I got to be at the club. What did he do at the club? Nothing. He did nothing at the club. And he's the head of security. Tupac got beef with the whole East Coast, allegedly, just, going to the hype of the legend of the story. And you telling me he ain't got no security on him with no gun? All because of the orders of Reggie and George Khaleesi's, and Reggie keep trying to say, oh, well, in the grand jury testimony, well, I don't know if I told him or George Khaleesi told him. I can't remember. I know we just told them that they couldn't have their guns. Nigga, come on, stop. You heard him? Reggie, what are you doing here? Why you not with Suge? Oh, I got to be over here tonight. I got to be here. But he did nothing different from what he normally do. So, why the fuck?
Reggie and Larry there. Why was Reggie and Al there? Well, he turned it over to Al every time. He turned it over to you. Well, he turned it over to Marcus the time before that. He was never there. And he was never there. Why was he so insistent on being there? And I asked him. When I first got to the club, I said, Reggie, why are you here? Aren't you going to shoot? No, I got to take care of some things at the club. And guess what? What did he do different? Nothing. Nothing at all. He did nothing. He just was there. He was just there. So I'm telling you, shit didn't add up. It didn't add up for me. I'm not convinced. By any means am I convinced. The shit looks a little crazy. When you look at the whole picture, why they were so insistent. Why are we in an office? This guy's name's not even on the door. This guy's giving us a card saying he's this, but we're at an office where we shouldn't even been. We never did that. We showed up to this guy, and we had no idea what we were doing there. And he didn't even make sense when we got there. Reggie can normally tell us that. Reggie normally tells us, hey, they're going to be sweating you. Don't come in when you first come in, when every heat goes down, get your shit answering. They're not answering. Reggie never goes to that club. Never. Then all he kept doing. Well, what I didn't understand is how come Reggie is Suge's bodyguard and he wasn't with Suge?
Y'all heard that one? Why is Reggie Suge's bodyguard, but he's not with him? Does that make sense to anybody? How is Reggie Suge's bodyguard, but he's not with them? And this is coming from people that work for Reggie's security team. Michael Moore is not convinced that this was not a setup. He was shook.
We were doing there. And he didn't even make sense when we got there. Reggie can normally tell us that. Reggie normally tells us, hey, they're going to be sweating you. Don't come in when you first come in, but then whenever the heat goes down, get your shit. Reggie told us that. We had a point to have someone else be there to do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't think something's a little strange about that? And to me, the questions aren't answered. They're not answered. Reggie never goes to that club. Never. Then all he kept doing. Well, what I didn't understand is how come Reggie is Suge's bodyguard and he wasn't with Suge? So, here's something funny. When Suge called for him, he knew how to get a hold of Reggie. He didn't even ask me where was Reg. That's right. That's right. Right. He asked for Reggie. First of all, before he even looked at that fight, he said, where Reg is. Well, now, I'll tell you this. Have you ever seen Reggie without? Nope. And without him now. That's right. You see what I'm saying?
Y'all heard that? They said Suge was looking for Reggie. Yo, where Reg? Ask Michael Moore. Yo, where's Reg? Nobody know where the fuck Reggie at.
You see what I'm saying? All the time we go to. That's right. Right. He asked for Reggie. First of all, before he even looked at that fight, he would have said, where Reg is. Well, now, let me tell you this. Have you ever seen Reggie without? Nope. And without him now. That's right. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? All the time we go somewhere, we saw that shoot. Reggie. Have you ever seen him where he wasn't with us? Oh, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. You see what I'm saying? Well, you ask me questions like, and then I'm listening to one end of what he's saying, and one end of what she's saying, and I ain't flying off of that. That's why I won't answer that question about his Eric. Really none of my business, but I'm going to tell you there was some shit happening that was weird. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if that's not convincing you enough that Reggie's own security are insinuating that Suge and Reggie allegedly set Pac up, if that don't speak volumes, I don't know what. But I'm telling you, I feel like the prosecutors at Las Vegas are protecting Reggie because he was a cop. And that whole blue wall of silence, and that they won't sit there and look at blatant evidence like this, Reggie's own security force accusing him of killing Tupac, right? And Las Vegas Metro Police Department prosecutors will sit there and think that Keefe D is lying with when he's saying that Reggie orchestrated it, whether he played a part in it or not. But how do you not believe that with this type of evidence and Reggie's inconsistency and his lies? Now, in the interview that I did with Mo Preem, right? He said I lied about him knowing that Orlando Anderson was the shooter the same day, and he did not find out that Orlando Anderson was involved until 3 days later when Tim Brennan went up to Las Vegas to look at the surveillance video with the Las Vegas Metro Police Department talking to Orlando Anderson at the MGM in the lobby after he got jumped, right? So now Reggie's saying, "Oh, I didn't know who did it, and I ain't say no names. You know, I didn't know until days later. Until I didn't know nothing about Orlando until the day Brennan went to look at the video and he identified them." Now, I'm going to tell y'all that either Las Vegas Metro Police Department got the slowest people working for them in the prosecution, or they're not looking at Reggie Wright Jr. as a suspect. Because his lies and his inconsistencies should show anybody that if this nigga's story keeps changing, the truth don't change. Now, his own daddy said Reggie called him and told him Orlando Anderson shot Tupac within an hour of the shooting. Reggie said he didn't find out who did the shooting until 2-3 hours later when he went to the hospital when he talked to Suge. So is his daddy lying or is he lying? But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not lying.